Hey guys, John here from Bring the SEO. Today I want to talk quickly about client communication and more importantly, customer support. As we all know, running an agency can it can quite easily become chaotic, very noisy and certainly busy if you're making the mistake that I made for many years, and that is essentially running your operations and answering customer or client questions and support requests and everything else via email. So what's the solution? How can we avoid essentially running our agency via email and separate ourselves so that we're not getting bogged down, doing nothing but answering emails all day? To demonstrate, I'm going to jump onto my computer real quick. I'm going to show you how best to structure client support. Let's do it. Okay, so what frameworks can we implement in order to protect ourselves from getting caught up in customer support? Let's face it, we didn't get into this business to sit there answering emails all day. And like I said, if you're not careful, that's exactly what will happen. And you'll spend more of your time doing customer support than you are running your actual agency. So I'm going to share with you a very simple framework that you can use. This is essentially what I did. It's what many of the members inside the community are doing also, and it works very well. So the first thing I want to do is start by putting ourselves up the top here, right? It's really important that you insulate yourself from the noise. You want to try and separate yourself as quickly as practically possible from sitting there answering emails, because you are the agency owner, right? Now, I understand to begin with that, we don't just start by building a $10 million agency overnight, and chances are if you're just getting started, you're going to be wearing a lot of different hats, and maybe you might even have to do some of that customer support. That's fine. I'm going to share with you a strategy that you can use to do that role without creating or without making yourself over accessible. This is a big problem for a lot of SEO consultants, that they make themselves over accessible. And when clients know that they can email you at any time and they expect a response immediately, that can have an adverse effect on a lot of different things. So you've got to change the perception, and by changing the perception, that will help set more realistic expectations and a healthier relationship with your clients overall. Okay, so we want to separate ourselves up the top here. Now let's draw in some of our clients. These are our clients, of course. And our clients are very happy because we're providing a quality service. Now, one thing that I have learned is that no matter how hard I tried and what systems I implemented, whether it be a ticketing system or something else, a Slack channel, clients always seem to revert back to email. It's just what they expected. It's what they wanted to use, and try to force ticketing systems or any sort of other system onto them, it just never worked. So what I would recommend is creating or setting up a dedicated support email address. Right now, that email needs to go to a dedicated person, someone who is dedicated to handle customer support, right? So these are your clients. This person here can be either customer support or client success or accounts manager, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. But like I said, they want to be using a dedicated email address, right? So I would probably use something like support at or help at or something of that nature. Okay. Make sure you do that. Don't use your own email address. Again, this is another problem I see a lot of SEO consultants doing that. They'll set up, they'll start running their agency and they're using, Craig at abcseoagency.com or something. And then they wonder why, their inbox is filling up every day and they're wasting an enormous amount of time. So don't do that. This should be a dedicated email address, and this is where this should be the front line, straight to the customer support person. Now, the customer support person should be your frontline defense. Okay, they have two roles. One, to either defuse the situation, if you like. In other words, does this request or question need to be escalated any further, or can I stop it at this point right here? The second responsibility will be, okay, this definitely needs to be escalated and handed over to the team for actioning. So I then need to raise a support ticket. Okay, so from there, excuse me, that would go from this person to a ticketing system. Help Scout, there's a whole bunch that you can choose from. There's certainly no help desk ticketing system. There's so many different ticketing systems. Help Scout is probably one that comes to mind. Zendesk, I think, is another one. But like I said, this person here needs to make the decision. Okay, is this request something that needs to be escalated further and go to the team, or is this something that I can answer here? So they'll want to be doing everything they can to provide support and prevent it from going to the next level. Now, if, of course, that's not possible, then that means that goes to a ticketing system. That ticketing system, this is where the tasks become prioritized. So prioritize the tasks in line with, obviously how urgent they are. Now that ticketing system interfaces, or should interface, with your project management software, whether it be Asana or Monday or ClickUp or whatever it is that you want to use. They're all very much the same. And this here is where your customer support person or client success or accounts manager makes the determination, okay, what's the nature of the request and who does this task need to be allocated to, right? It's a task assignment. So they would then assign the tasks here within your project management system. So assign tasks, and that then would then interface with your team, right? These are our lovely team members, okay? This is our team. Now, one thing that I will say as a quick side note here is that sometimes there'll be specialists on your team, like Craig here, right? Let's give him a hat. Craig is a specialist, and let's say he handles all of the content, or let's say he handles link building, or whatever that might be. There are things that Craig knows that your customer support person may not know. This is where you can have a dedicated team member interact directly with your clients, right? This is a little bit messy. In order to be able to respond and answer questions that your customer support person may not know. Now, you've got to be really, really careful here that the communication doesn't start bypassing this and starting, and trends to here constantly, okay? This should be moderated by the customer support person to be able to step in and say, I'll take it from here, okay? And obviously, again, you want to insulate yourself from all of this so that you can oversee and essentially project manage. Now, having said all of that, as I said, when you're first getting started, you might think, well, hang on a minute, John, I can't afford a customer support person. I'm just getting started. It's just me, or maybe it's just you and two virtual contractors in the Philippines or something. What I would recommend in that case is get yourself a Wendy. Right now, you're probably thinking, who the hell is Wendy? Right? Get yourself a Wendy. This is something we joke about in the group. Wendy is a fake persona. It's someone that you create, a fictitious character that you create that communicates with your clients, right? This might sound unusual, but the perception of your operation, your agency, and everything else changes when Wendy is responding and not John or Craig or the actual business owner. Because awkward conversations, uncomfortable messages or responses can be handled in a very different and more passive way when they're going through a persona as opposed to you. I won't get into that on this in this video, but this is the way that I know I've done it in the past. I've also worked with other agency owners that do this. I've actually gone to meetups and said, oh, is Wendy here? Well, who the hell's Wendy? There is no Wendy. Wait a minute, what? I found out then it's the actual business owner that I've been speaking with. So that's one way of doing it. Until, of course, you get yourself in a position where you are able to hire someone, and then you can just hand that role over. Okay, there you have it. Pretty straightforward. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to learn more, head over to bringtheseo.com. We provide business development training for SEO consultants wanting to improve their processes, increase profits, and scale to $100,000 a month or more without all the stress and overwhelm.